This is actually very important video about Vice President JD Vance. JD Vance actually went on a book tour this week on Fox News, CBS, The View, and somehow the toughest interview came from Megyn Kelly. Let's watch how that went actually. It's very important video. I request you to watch the video till the end. First of all, take a look at this clip, guys.
Kelly and other MAGAs are turning on this administration, at least as far as foreign policy goes. And JD Vance really had a rough day yesterday on his book tour. Let me kind of explain. JD Vance was on The View. He was on Fox News.
Whenever someone says they're turning this against this administration, I remember Marjorie Taylor Greene.
He was on with Megyn Kelly. He was on CBS. JD Vance was everywhere yesterday because he's trying to sell books. He has a book to sell, so he's on a book tour. Cool. The problem is that he showed up to do an interview with Megyn Kelly. And what is taking place with Iran is so bad for the average American and for the American people. This is an anti-American decision to go to war that even Megyn Kelly now has started saying, what on earth are we doing? And she points out the Strait of Hormuz has to be open. It was open before Trump did any of this. And JD doesn't really have a good answer.
How is that different from where we were before we launched this war? I get how it's different thanks to the strikes we did last June. That was very helpful.
Sure.
But straight open and nuclear sites destroyed and we're no longer fighting is where we were in February.
Well, we did additional destruction to their nuclear facilities and particularly their capacity to rebuild. So
wait a second.
Yeah, now they're negotiating on Strait of Hormuz. That was already open before this war, before starting this war. And now they are negotiating and now they are going to pay more, spending money on war. And now, in fact, they're going to pay more in negotiation to Iran just to open Strait of Hormuz. And President Trump says, we are the winner. We have destroyed their navy, economy, everything. But still they are negotiating. That's strange.
Decimated in June, which means you've taken out 90%. You've left 10%. And that was without going in. And now you needed a full-blown war to get the last 10% plus whatever they've supposedly been able to rebuild since June. That's not making a lot of sense, JD. And Megyn Kelly kept going. Now, I'm withholding my analysis of Megyn Kelly until we get through these clips, so bear with me. But then Megyn Kelly goes, why can't we just see the damn letter at this point? If the letter is so good, show us the letter. Now, within minutes of this being recorded, the letter leaked. We already talked about it at the top of the show. But at the time, it hadn't leaked. And Megyn's going, show us the letter, especially if it's good.
Why can't they see? Why can't we all see the MOU right now?
Well, yeah. So first of all, the president said by the latest Friday, possibly as early as tomorrow, we're going to release the memorandum of understanding text.
Yeah, it leaked.
The reason why we haven't released it yet is there are some delicate diplomatic things going on where the Iranians, and not just the Iranians, but some of our mediators, the Pakistanis and the Qataris, have asked us to sequence this in the right way. I don't frankly fully understand it, but there are sensitivities that exist in the Arab and Muslim world that we're trying to be responsive to. Fundamentally, does it really matter if the deal comes out on Wednesday versus Friday? No.
This is all bullshit because
Yeah, this is actually a bullshit. Wait a minute. Within minutes of Megyn Kelly asking, shows the letter, it leaked on its own. The timing alone tells you something about how tightly controlled this information actually was. And it's strange for me. He was the same person who just went to Pakistan for negotiations with Iran delegation. And now he is talking again.
This isn't the deal. It's simply a page and a half letter outlining the negotiation period of 60 days to begin and some generalities. The deal might come out. It's going.
Do you think it's a page of victory for President Trump? And remember my words, in upcoming days, he will say again and again that I have just won the war and they are just very desperate to make a deal with me. He already said Iran is very desperate, but everybody can see President Trump is more desperate for this deal. That's why the negotiators, Pakistan, Qatar, they're trying very hard to make deal as soon as possible just to make President Trump happy.
Going to be months. Now, let me mention something, and I don't want this to come across the wrong way. This is not, oh, now we like Megyn Kelly. Megyn Kelly's now a voice of reason. This is, Megyn Kelly is horrible and deranged. But the Iran fiasco is so blatantly bad, even by the standards that Trump laid out during his campaign and the standards that people like Megyn Kelly adopted of Donald Trump. It's so bad that even Megyn Kelly realizes it and is asking skeptical questions of J.D. Vance. That's the interpretation. Not, wow, Megyn Kelly, so great. It's even Megyn Kelly is innocent. And there's audience capture where she has people in her audience who are going, wait a second. The anti-war guy and prices would come down, and he ended up being the new war guy and prices went up. So let's not praise Megyn Kelly too much, but it's so bad even she realizes it. She then points out, by the way, the Constitution does say you need approval to declare war.
The Constitution does say you need approval to declare war, which Trump doesn't think he did and didn't seek. But now, and he defended him on that. But now that we're ending it, which you definitely don't need congressional approval for, he wants this treated like a treaty and is demanding you go before Congress, sir.
Well, to be clear, I don't think that congressional approval was required. I really firmly do believe that the president, was never a full-scale war in the conventional or legal sense of it. So,
Yeah, it's actually a contradiction. I want you to remember no congressional approval needed to start the war because it was not technically a war. But now they want a big congressional moment to celebrate ending it. You cannot use both arguments. Pick one. Please pick one.
We won the war, but it wasn't a war.
we definitely made sure that we dotted our I's and crossed our T's here. So I wanted to defend the
They didn't. Trump was in Florida when they launched the war. J.D. Vance was in the Situation Room. They have no clue what they're doing. So we've got a few important pillars here. Megyn Kelly's questions. Number one, if things are basically where they were before the war, what did we really gain? And the only thing J.D. Vance was able to come up with is, well, we did some more destruction to nuclear sites. No regime change, no elimination of their ballistic missiles capabilities, no guarantee that they will never have a nuclear weapon, none of it. No, we did a little more destruction. The White House wants credit for the military strike, and they want credit for the peace deal, even though these narratives don't really fit together because the whole thing was optional and nothing was gained. They want everybody to celebrate a deal that, as of this recording of that interview that we played, hadn't even been released. And it wasn't even a deal. It was a letter to start negotiating the deal. And then they go, it wasn't technically a war in order to bypass Congress, but also we won the war. So I don't think Megyn Kelly's the real story here. It's the contradictions are now so obvious that even Trump-friendly voices are noticing. And just wait until you see what happened when J.D. Vance was interrogated by the middle-aged ladies of The View, who did a phenomenal job in exposing him for the fraud that he is.
So what's your opinion? Here's my question for you. Was this a war or not? What do you think? Is this really a war for you? First they say it was not a war, no congressional approval was needed, and now they again and again said, President Trump said, I have won the war. So is it a war for you? What do you think? What is your opinion? Was this a deal or not? Let's talk about deal as well. Is this a deal for you or not? Because the vice president himself seems unsure how to answer that. You know, you have seen this interview. Leave your thoughts in the comment section, guys. I really enjoy reading your comments. I read every single one. I read your comments actually. And if you are new to this channel, please click on the red subscribe button